Guys, it's Chris here with the Teclast X70. So I've run some benchmarks, been using it a little while, and just give you my thoughts and impressions on this tiny 7-inch tablet slash phone, phablet, whatever you want to call it. Now, it is not a super performance monster. This has just got the Atom X3 SoFIA in it, the lower end one, and it's just a 1GB dual core Atom. So performance-wise, you're not going to get anything spectacular out of this tablet. That's pretty obvious to start with when you're buying this. I mean, this is priced at approximately around $55 US at the moment at retailers. Now, this actually sells in China, in the local market there, for around about, the equivalent around about, I think it's about 40 or 45 US. So it's a very cheap dual SIM 3G tablet. And as I mentioned in the other videos, it does have a very low resolution, so it's got a 1024 by 600 resolutions, not even HD, the IPS panel, and it's not really a wonderfully sharp screen. Coming from my LG G4, you definitely notice it, that it's quite pixely, quite blocky. So if we can zoom in here and you'll see. Most of the time the screen actually looks okay, but you will notice that some of the text does look really blurry in some parts. Now this is the Geekbench 3 score, very low as you can see. Now the multi-core score is quite low there because it's only a dual core, remember, so it's just 2 cores. So it's a little bit below double the single core score. And just remember again, it's only running at 1 gigahertz, so quite low there. So performance, not wonderful. Now, if I have a look here at some other benchmarks I ran, this is Antutu. For example, in Antutu here, you can see some of that text is looking a little bit pixely, but almost 15,000 to score. That's about half, actually under half, of what an Atom Bay Trail Z3735F would get. So there's the score there in more detail for people that want to have a look at all those figures. You want to have a look at the graphics score there. It's a little hard to see. Okay, so those were the only benchmarks I really bothered with. Now you're probably wondering, can it game though? I mean, it's got a Mali 400 in it, and that used to be an okay GPU back in the day. Now it's quite aged now, so not exactly the fastest, but you can play some games. I did test out, you can see I have installed here Asphalt 8 and Dungeon Hunter 5. I'll show you those just a sec, but what I forgot to show you is the actual speeds that you can get with 3G. Now, I managed to test that out, and you can see here that these are the speeds I got. So on my wireless connection, which is actually set up as a 3G SIM card that I use because I'm in the rural area, I don't have good connection, I managed to get almost 20 megabits download speeds and about 4.2 there upload, so that's not bad. Now when I put my SIM card, the same exact SIM card, into this tablet here, those are the scores I got. So almost 6 megabytes and 1.6 there on the upload. So it's not the fastest 3G, you know, it's not that 3G that can do 24 megabits per second. No, it's definitely the slower spec one there, so a little bit lower. So now we'll just quickly show you a game or two, and so you can get an idea of how you can, if you can play games or not. No, okay, echo area. I'm going to have to fix that. Alright, so I fixed that little problem there. That was a little problem with my network at home. Now the speaker on this tablet is absolutely hopeless. It is so quiet, it's not loud at all. I mean, this is full volume now, as you'll hear shortly. Full volume does not sound good. It's just not loud enough. Okay, so already I'm experiencing a bit of lag here. You can see that it is quite slow. And alright, so I can get past that. Just want to get into the game. Okay. Alright, finally going to get into the game here. Let's see how it runs. So what you're hearing now is 100% volume on it, and it's just got that tiny little speaker on the back. This one here. And it is pathetic, really. It's not putting out that much volume at all. Now the phone, when you do get a phone call, it does vibrate. So, you know, less chance of missing a call. If it's in your pocket, then you can feel it vibrating at least. It's not that loud. The ringtones are optimized a little bit to be louder, I think. So you can see that is actually smooth so far. Okay, definitely playable. So despite its benchmarks being so low, you can see here that I can still at least play Asphalt 8 here, which, you know, is not a super demanding game, but is definitely 110% playable. Definitely playable here. So, let's have a look at Dungeon Hunter 5 is the other game that I downloaded, and see how that runs. Okay, so some Dungeon Hunter 5 here. Few stutters, you just saw them. Yeah, I can tell that the frame rate is probably around about 15 frames per second. It's not the fastest. So it is struggling with this title a little bit more than the real racing. So it is a little bit slow, but it does look to be still playable at least.
What would you do without me?
Frame rate does seem to have improved a little bit. It seems the more I start to play, the slightly faster it seems to be getting. A little bit slow there. Whoa, some stutters there. Okay, and very laggy right now, so I spoke too soon, didn't I? Look at that. Wow, it's just gone down to a few frames per second there, so it's become a slideshow basically. Oh, now it's going to work. Wow. Okay, that's not really playable now. It's becoming a little bit too slow. Very laggy. Okay, so I'll exit out of that and show you some internet here with the browser. The keyboard actually isn't too bad to type on. I've found that it's okay. The screen does seem to be responsive enough that the keystrokes and whatnot aren't too bad. Just lost the keyboard there for some reason. So the home page obviously is set to the Teclast page there in Chinese. Okay, there's a little bit of lag there. So the CPU might be throttling a little bit from that gaming. It got quite hot. And it manages to load up tech tablets here. Gone into the mobile version of the site. It doesn't seem to be too bad. Oh, a little slow there. Okay, there we go. So if I flip it around, it should stretch out to the whole screen now. Perhaps not. I can feel it is getting quite hot here on the back, just below where the camera is. So it is starting to struggle there a little. Definitely on this website. So if I reload the page, hopefully that'll load in. Okay, so now it was showing. So you need a lot of patience with this tablet, as you can see. Oh, I mean, I can't even scroll at the moment. Oh dear. So if you're looking at some heavy websites with a lot of images like this one here, then you're going to run into these kind of issues there. Speed it's very slow there. Perhaps I still have the game open or something. No, only play services. Okay, so the battery life, it's hard to say how much I can get out of it because I've been testing and using it, but mostly running benchmarks and things. You're looking probably about a day's usage. Now, if you're going to be gaming on it, probably about 3 hours. It has a 3,200 milliamp hour battery. So it's not too bad of a size considering it's a 7-inch tablet. So, but you do need to bear in mind that using 3G and having 2 SIM cards in there is going to sap a little bit more power than your normal average 7-inch tablet here. So overall, what do I think of this tablet? Well, for the price, you get what you pay for, don't you, really? The positives are, you've got dual SIM, you have 3G, it is cheap, battery life's okay, but then when it comes down to things like the performance, it's definitely not a powerful tablet at all. It does stutter and lag a little bit, but you can do some gaming, as you've seen, that Real Racing ran okay, but I think Dungeon Hunter just pushed the GPU too hard and it started to throttle there a little bit. It has got a little bit warm. You of course have phone functions on it, and the cameras are not good at all. So you only have a VGA front-facing camera, 2 megapixel rear. The other issue with the tablet is that I've noticed is the screen is not that bright. The sound on it is very quiet, the speaker on the rear. But again, if you're thinking about maybe just a quick chuck around tablet for $50, maybe something for the kids to play around with, to keep them busy for a little while, then, you know, this is okay. You do have other tablets out there for this price range, but I think they can probably even have worse GPUs and CPUs than this one. And this does have a newer Atom X3 in it, but as you can see, it's really not that powerful. So bear that in mind when if you are going to buy this, that the screen is not that bright, not that sharp, but it's okay. You know, you can play movies on it. You can do all the stuff maybe that you'd want to, but you have to have a bit of patience, as you can see with this video. You need to take your time loading websites up and you do need to bear in mind that, yeah, it's not going to be able to play all the latest games because it's just going to be too much, some of the newer titles there for it. Now, the sound output also, while I remember, is not too bad out of that. There's a tiny little bit of static on it, but it's not the worst I've heard coming from a cheap tablet. It's okay. Volume output over the 3.5mm jack is much, much better than the speaker, which is disappointing. And lastly, I will just quickly show you now the weight of the tablet with my trusty scales here. So the tablet comes in at 270 grams. It's a little bit hard to see that, sorry. So 270 grams, and the thickness of the tablet, it's not the thinnest tablet in the world. Let's get my gauge here, is around about 12 millimeters, almost 13 millimeters thick. So it's a little chunky. It's a little chunky, 270 grams. The weight of it is not too bad at all. Alright, so that's the wrap up there of the video. Thank you for watching. I hope you found it helpful if you were looking at this tablet. And hopefully I'll see you in my next video, up and coming one. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.